Hey, Collie, welcome. Oh, goddess help me. The captions. You are correct, sir. I need to go activate those. Uno momento. Okay, I'm hoping they are active now. It looks like in my scry crystal they are, but you're going to have to maybe refresh if they're not showing up for you. But let me know. Yay, they're on! Yay for accessibility! Okay, so as you can see, lords and ladies, I am taking a look once again at Katawa Shoujo tonight. It is the other visual novel I started looking at for Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month in March, and I had originally said that I was going to hold off looking at it until Disability Pride Month, but you know what? I am allowed to change my mind, and since my last experience with the If My Heart Had Wings visual novel was not a good one, I thought, why not? I want to look at this and give myself something else to look at and just read more of the story and react to it and give you my thoughts like I always do. So I'm looking forward to that. So we will pick up where we left off. It's been a while, so I'm gonna probably take a moment to get myself reacquainted. But I think you lords and ladies would like to see something new that I have tonight that I can actually put on and look really cool, and also just be in the mode of reading. I actually have the ability to show you my reading glasses now, which I do use. Yes, new glasses. So I'm going to put them on now, and hopefully my scry crystal will capture that. Boop! On goes the glasses. Ta-da! Hello, Akuri! Welcome! As I was just telling Kali here, I got something new. A pair of reading glasses that I can actually put on and off, so I decided to put them on tonight. So, we get to be even more of a scholar and have our glasses on and look super cute. So, I'm excited about that. And it may also actually help me with my reading of this tonight, since in IRL I am also wearing my reading glasses, so I have a nice bit of synergy tonight. So let's go ahead and click on our bookmark and see what we got going on, because it's been a while and I don't really remember exactly where we left off. Okay, load. Okay. Okay. I forget which one I should. Oh dear, okay. I I need to set the text chat to something else. Good idea. Let me just see if I can quickly, fix that here. Okay, text color. Okay, this should do it. Hey, Lucia! Welcome. Okay, it looks like I was able to change my text color. Yay! I'm getting better at this. Hooray! Okay, so now that I've done that, now I need to figure out which game to load. Okay, I think it should be this one with the playtime of 5 hours and 19 minutes. Yep. Okay. This should be the one. It's okay, Akari, no worries. Yay, yes, I can wave, and I also have glasses on tonight. Oh, hi, Maki. Welcome. Welcome back. Okay, so... Oh, Goodly Muffin! Welcome! Welcome! I'm so happy to see you! I have a 2D self now, yes. Yes, I have glasses now too, Maki. Yes, I can wave. So, Cuddly, how are you? How are you this evening? I hope you're well. Alright, so... I know, shocking. Yes, well, I'm getting a little bit better at being a little more active, even while I'm casting through my scry crystal, so there is that. Alright, so I think I'm going to load our little digital bookmark here and get back into the story. Oh my goodness. Okay. Something just happened. I think somebody just followed me. Yes. Thank you for the follow. And Cuddly says, I just got done with my stream recently. Have been feeling much better than I was yesterday. That is so great. I'm glad to hear you're feeling well, and I hope your stream went well. Also, okay. Let's focus. Okay, where was I? Okay, I feel very tired this morning. Probably because yesterday itself was a very tiring day. Thank you, Lucia, for hosting. On top of that, I woke up far earlier than necessary. Okay, so basically that is, that does remind me that the last time we read this, our main character, did have a very active day, and it practically exhausted them because they weren't really used to that much activity. So that makes sense. My memory is getting jogged a little bit now. And of course, I can relate to what it feels like to already be tired from a lot of exertion and then waking up really early and so not getting maybe as much sleep as you need. After saying hi to Shizune and Misha. I start doing the work as instructed from the board. It already looks like today is going to be heavy. I don't have a problem with that now, though. Shizune and Misha might jump on me, trying to get an answer about whether or not I've decided to join the student council, even if it's just one day. I wouldn't put it past them to try, and I don't have an answer for them if they do. So this situation is convenient for me. About 10 minutes into class, Hanako walks in and takes a seat, but no one looks at her. The teacher doesn't even comment on her lateness. Probably because the teacher knows maybe what more might be going on with Hanako and that they might have some very good reasons for being a bit tardy. He does, however, stop us to say that we're going to break up into groups again. I turn my head to see that Shizune and Misha are looking at me. Shizune gives me a smile that is equal parts cute and menacing. Oh no! Yeah. Thank you, Dinosaur, for subbing! Thank you so much! Oh my goddess! 6 months! You are amazing! You don't have to do that, but thank you so much! Dinosaur, how are you doing this evening? I'm doing pretty well, says Dinosaur, relaxing after a long day of work. Doing a little writing. Oh, cool! What kind of writing are you doing? Or is it top secret? If it's top secret, I understand. But that's exciting. I hope you're gonna also take some time to rest after having a busy day. But I guess writing can be relaxing too, so that's good. I'm excited for you. That sounds amazing. Okay. This is a smile that says, we have you now. There's no escape. And Dinosaur says, well, I've been working on my fight scenes. So a few VTuber friends of mine volunteered as sparring partners. Oh, cool. Cool. That sounds like fun. So it sounds like you must be working on something that's action-based, or at least a part of something that has some action in it. That is really, really cool. I'm intrigued now. Okay. Okay, where were we? Misha. He-chan, it looks like we're together again. Yay, yay! Misha, jeez. Misha leans sideways while Shizune pushes her desk closer to mine. There really is no escape now unless I were to jump through the window. Oh no, don't do that! And Dinosaur says it's a lot of fun fiddling with power sets and height differences and such. Sounds even more interesting. Well, maybe I might like to take a look at all that when you're done with it. Rampaging Asian? My goddess! What is happening? Thank you all. I have no idea what this hype train thing is, because I have not had that happen, but oh dear. I guess it's hype, but I don't know. Maybe it's a scam too. Oh dear. Okay. So there is a lot going on. Let me just kind of calm down here. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Thank you, Dinosaur. Thank you for gifting subs. Congratulations, Cuddly Muffin. Congratulations, Carrot. Hey, Asian, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Sorry, there's so much going on right now. Okay, it's, hype has started when 3 or more gift subs, are subbed or 100 bits. Okay, well, I do not have a lot of experience with that. I think I only have experienced, this happening once. So, I'm a little bit overwhelmed, but in a good way. Whew, okay, okay, so I already read that. Let's click. I would say so. Jumping out the window isn't the best option, sadly. No. Shizune. What's wrong, Hee-chan? Oh, Hee-chan, have you been thinking about what you said yesterday? You said that you would think about joining the student council, didn't you? It's okay, Hee-chan. We were talking about it after you left, and it would be rude to expect you to already have an answer for us this early, right? Right? I can just hear the nah. Yeah, she is definitely like my draconic cousin. I know I've said that in a previous cast, but for sure. I'm so happy you two are able to have a laugh at my expense, and even more pleased to know that you both know how crazy the two of you can be. Now that that's over, Shizune snaps back into her serious mode. Yes, because we're a serious student. And smacks today's assignment with the back of her hand in an overly dramatic and important way. The writing is lovely on this. And Rampaging Asian says, Internet is being crappy today, so I'm gonna lurkies. Keep being amazing, Tiefy. I will. I'm sorry to hear that your internet is being wonky, but I'm glad that you are, here hanging out anyway. When I actually look at the stuff, it's more than just reading. In fact, there are only 2 problems. I almost wanted to say something. Yeah. Coley! Stop this! You are being too nice. What just happened? I think we completed the train, or no, now we're keeping it going. Okay, that's enough. Oh. Level 2 complete. Dun 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 dun. There, I did a level up noise. Yeah. Oh no! What is going on? Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Collie. Thank you, Dinosaur. Thank you. You all can stop now. You don't need to keep that train going. Oh no. It's called love, says Okuri. I know, but oh, Dinosaur, you deserve all the good stuff, Deeps. Oh, thank you. Ooh, yeah. Okay, Colleen, no. Stop that. Level 4 complete. gonna actually cry if you keep that up. Fine, Collie, I see your redeem. I will do it. Okay, so how do you want it? You want it just normal, or you want blushiness? Oh my, of course you want blushy, you stinky fart. Okay. Yeah. There, are you happy? Well, I guess it's fine because you're being so generous, so I don't mind. Wow. Thank you, Rampaging Asian, for hosting. Thank you so much. Yes, congratulations to everyone who got gifted a sub, and thank you, Collie and Dinosaur, who were being so generous. I honestly don't know what to say. Except thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my little Tiefy heart. Okay, so I don't think I read this yet. I almost want to say something about how her rush to get started seems a bit much, considering the small amount of work. In fact, Shizune probably knows how little there is and simply doesn't care. Yeah, it seems like the workload doesn't matter to her as much as the fact that there is work. The actual amount is unimportant. She approaches everything with the same level of ambition. That's me right here. Hello, I'm the same way. So I can relate. Golly! Thank you for, just continuing to be awesome and adorable. You don't need to keep doing that. I swear to Goddess. Just, I love you, but you're too much. While I'm reading, I let my eyes wander around the room and catch Hanako. Okay, so she is the girl, the young woman we met in the library in the last cast. Okay, and catch Hanako trying her hand at solving the problems. It looks like she's working alone. Oh dear. I can't remember seeing her working with other people before. Well, it could probably be a two-pronged thing. It could be, one, she's not really comfortable working with other people, and or other people are not really comfortable working with her. Either way, it's kind of sad. Thinking back to how shy she is, it's understandable, yes. Hey, that girl over there. You know her by name, Hisao. You can just use her name. Huh? Who, Hichan? Her, Hanako, over there. Does she always work alone? I think so, Hichan. Do you feel sorry for her because she's alone? I was just thinking that maybe she could work with us or something. Oh, see, that's sweet. That is so sweet of Hisao. He actually offered, that they could include her even though she is shy. I guess we got some emotes from all that hype train going on. Wow. So all of you please enjoy. And this right here is why Hisao will always be a better boyfriend option than Aoi from If My Heart Had Wings, because he actually bothers to have enough emotional IQ to go and invite this other young woman to work with them instead of being the thoughtless individual like Aoi can be. This is so refreshing. No, I don't think that would be a good idea, Hichan. I think I know where they're going with this. I think that because they know how uncomfortable Hanako must be, I think that that's the reason why they haven't invited her to work with them. But I still really applaud Hisao for trying to include her. Because I've been on the receiving end of really warm and nice people like that in my actual life. So I really like to see that represented here. Why not? Shichan wouldn't get along with her. Oh, okay. I'm kind of surprised by that. I thought Shizune was a little bit more sociable considering that she's being sociable with us, but why? Misha shuffles around the question, letting out a laugh that sounds very strange. It's nervous, but it still has that lifting up and down quality present in everything she says. Just because, Hichan. Okay, so we're getting the vibes we shouldn't really ask any more questions. By now, Shizune has noticed our conversation, and it makes me realize again how Misha has been signing everything she has been saying this whole time. I was just gonna ask that. I was just gonna say, is Misha still signing for Shizune during this whole discussion or not? Because if not, that would be a very targeted misuse of being someone's assistant where you are literally keeping them out of the conversation by doing that. What, Shichan? The friend of my enemy is my enemy? That sounds so harsh. I'm not going to say that. You said it anyway. I was just gonna say. I know, Hichan. It's fine if you overhear. I wonder if this is Misha's way of keeping things fair, since without her, I wouldn't be able to understand a thing Shizune is saying and vice versa. Is that also why she signs all the time, so there is never a conversation that Shizune will be left out of? Yes, which is exactly what I just said. Anyway, we should start on the problems now, Hichan. We finished with time to spare, and I decided to ask if there are any alternatives to the cafeteria, as frankly, the food in there so far has been subpar. Oof. Also, I'm gonna be looking forward to not going into that cafeteria because all the noise in there for me is very overwhelming auditorily. So I would personally be fine with that. Also, that interaction they were having is a bit of a strange one, but I'm also curious. Now I'm curious, what was that about? This sends Shizune and Misha arguing amongst themselves about their favorite restaurants. Oh, restaurants, I like that idea. All of them are downtown, so I don't think we have time to go all the way there. And what about the bill? Are they arguing just for the fun of it? Maybe. They seem so distracted by it that they don't even notice the start of the actual lunch break. I look over my shoulder toward the back of the classroom. She seems to be studying her notes from the previous class. It's an odd sight. Everyone else in class is busying themselves with the lunch break. Socializing, gossiping, rearranging desks. The ones with actual box lunches mixed in and chattering like everyone else, only interrupted by short bouts of eating. But when I watch Hanako, it feels that I'm the only one who can see her, almost as if she is invisible, sort of hiding in plain sight. Is she being bullied? Is she isolating herself from the rest of the class on her own accord? I would say this could be a really difficult combination of both. She could be isolating herself, but it could also be being exacerbated by some of the way the other students might be behaving toward her, especially since Shizune was not really into being around Hanako. So, I see her look over her shoulder toward the classroom's rear door. Come to think of it, she hasn't turned a page since I've started watching her. I guess she's waiting for someone. What to do? I am not gonna wait for Shizune and Misha to come to a decision. I actually want to go try to talk with Hanako. Even though I know that she's shy, this is the kind of thing I would probably do. But, Kali, you are correct. I should probably save here. So, let me just... create a new save state. Okay. Okay. So, I've saved the state. So what that means is I'm gonna just see what happens if I go and talk to her. There's a part of me that really wants to, because I would probably be that kind of person, and everyone is already ignoring her, so I feel like I don't want to just be another person who just reads their book and just ignores this person. So I'm gonna choose go talk with her and just see what happens. If she runs away from me again, then we'll see. I still feel bad for making her run away yesterday, so I'd better say something. Hey there, Hanako. Hisao? Aw, she looks really, kind of surprised and also a little freaked out that we're talking to her. But she seems to know our name, which is good. Well, at least she remembers my name. Hey, I just wanted to apologize for yesterday. I didn't mean to startle you or anything. I'm just new here and I thought I should get to know my classmates. Ah! Oh, I'm dying! This is so cute! As Hanako looks up at me, I notice her scarring once more. I just love that expression and I love that posture they're giving her. Even though we do get to see more of her scars, she's such a sweetness. She's such a sweetness. It's a little bewildering that you can barely notice it from across the room, but it's so noticeable from up close. That's okay. was my fault. Nah, it wasn't anyone's fault. It just happened. And I love that Hisao is an emotionally enough intelligent gentleman that he actually is gonna say something like that to her. He is so sweet. So, are you waiting for someone? I saw you looking at the door before. Yes. Lily. Oh, you mean Lily, the blind girl. Hanako only nods in response, and I can't help but wonder if defining people through their disabilities is a faux pas of the worst kind or just normal here. I was gonna say, oof, just saying, well, she's the blind girl is a little bit, That's kind of like people just referring to me as the Tiefling on her disc, or, IRL when I was in school, the girl in the wheelchair type of deal. But I'm glad that Hisao is thinking about this. I really am. It just shows me that there's a lot of attentive, conscientious writing going into this. And that's what makes it worlds away from If My Heart Had Wings. It is so much more cognizant and aware of the topic that it's bringing up and the kind of people that it's portraying. That is why I love this visual novel so much. That it's actually taking the time to address this kind of stuff. And hello, Sister Rose, welcome. Oh my goodness, Collie. I see that you redeemed a sound. I don't know if it actually got redeemed again. We're really gonna need to fix that. Well, thank you, Collie, for being so generous. I guess that explains why, Lily took off after her yesterday. She seems like a nice girl. Are you two friends? Yes. As if hoping for Lily to appear, she checks over her shoulder again. I think I'm making her nervous again. I hope I'm not disturbing you right now. No, that's not it. It's just easier if Lily doesn't come here. Oh? Because it's hard to get around the classroom? Not really. Hanako's gaze drifts past my shoulders and towards Shizune. Shizune. Hanako nods again. What is up with that? Okay, now I'm curious. Okay. What about her? Don't they get along? Hanako shakes her head. Clearly, this is something she doesn't want to talk about. Ooh. It does make a strange sort of sense. Shizune and Lily not getting along so well. Why? Because one has difficulty seeing and the other one has difficulty hearing? I guess so, but I would think maybe it's a personality thing? I don't know. And I see that Sister Rose was just playing Monster Pub. I don't think I've heard of that. How did it go? I kept losing it, snap. Oh no! Well, I hope it was still fun. Communication between the two would be all but impossible. It's hard enough talking to Shizune through Misha, even when you can see whose hands are talking. Hanako is so focused on Shizune that I am the first to notice Lily at the door. Oh, she's here now. Hanako spins around to confirm this. Upon seeing Lily, she moves quickly to the door. Ah, Lily! Ah, Hanako, good morning. Is the president here? That would be Shizune, wouldn't it? Yes. Hanako glances over her shoulder at Shizune again, as if to confirm she can't hear them, even though that's impossible. Ooh, I don't know. I suppose we'd best be off then. Ooh, well, those two really don't get along. Lily's sigh and tone of what seems like frustration makes me raise an eyebrow. I guess there is some kind of enmity between the two. It's intriguing, but it's not really something I'd ask about. I'm sure if they wanted me to know, they would tell me. And if it were any of your business, they would probably tell you. So good for you, because unlike Owie, you actually mind your business. And you can actually realize when something doesn't concern you. It's only my third day here. I should be trying to make friends, not finding out why people are enemies. Still, it's a little funny to find out that this school has little feuds just like my old high school. Even if people are more tolerant of others, they're still going to get on each other's nerves. Yes, because with or without disabilities, people are still people, and they still have some people they like and some people they don't like as much. Hey Lily, how are things? I'm sorry I made you run off yesterday. Oh my, is that Hisao? I didn't realize you were here. It seems that Lily is a little embarrassed about being so frank in front of me. Oops. Sorry, Lily, I thought you realized. No, it's alright, Hanako. Hisao, please don't worry about yesterday. It was just a misunderstanding. If you say so, I'm still working this place out. How astute, Hisao, says Kali. Is that why it's so important to be, that's why it's so nice. Ugh. Brain, stop! That's why it's so important to be nice to others when you can't, yes. There we go. Manners maketh man, yes. Well then, I think you'll find most people here a lot more forgiving than elsewhere. If you're feeling a little confused, please don't be afraid to ask questions. Sure, I'll remember that. Lily? Lily gives a small nod of acknowledgement. I'm sorry, Hisao, but we must be off. You know, I don't know what it is, but Lily is like, she's got these wonderful gentlemanly vibes. I don't know whether it's because she just also has this classy vibe, but even with her cane that she has this chivalrous, gentlemanly vibe that I am really vibing with right now. Hanako doesn't look all that comfortable here right now, and Lily still seems a little embarrassed. I wonder if my apologies really made an impact. I would say so, considering that Hanako was willing to speak to you, and she doesn't seem like the type who is willing to speak to people a lot. She seems more on the shy type. Dignified, yes, that is a good word for Lily. Mind if I accompany you two? I know I'm kind of pushing it, but Lily hums quietly, still smiling. I'm sure that we could accommodate you, can't we, Hanako? She looks at Lily, then at me, then she freezes, wide-eyed. Sure. Well then, shall we go? I'm sure Lily wouldn't do this so easily if she saw how scared Hanako looks, but it can't be helped now. Declining after the deal is sealed would only cause confusion and problems. So we leave, all three together. I like to use the word gentlemanly because she has this gentlemanly vibe. Like I said, it's probably the cane, but I don't know. She's exuding that to me right now. Lily walks beside the wall, letting her cane gently tap against it every now and then. Hanako comes along right beside her, so close that she is practically half hugging her as they go. And Lucia says, I'm going to take my leave. Have fun with the VTuber. Okay, I will. Have a good rest of your night, Lucia. Thank you so much for dropping by. Carries themselves more sir than lady. I feel that way. I mean, when we first met them in the little room that they were in, that we had tea, they have some definite ladylike grace, but I like how here they have this kind of gentlemanly posture. I don't know. I really like it though. Although it must make her walking that much harder, Lily takes it in stride. As we turn around the corner of the hallway, something hits me in the chest with the force of a steam train. Uh-oh. What's happening? Uh-oh. I think he might be having another heart episode. Oh dear. Hanako shrieks a little and my vision goes black. What's going on? Oh. Ouch. Huh? Okay. Opening my eyes, I see a pair of saucer-like green eyes looking up at me. Okay, so maybe it wasn't a thing to do with his heart. It looks like he might have just gotten bumped into, but still, ugh. That would make me a little nervous. Oh, okay! Cool! They belong to the perpetrator, a short girl who bumped into me and has now fallen onto the hallway floor. Okay, so she's a little bit on the short side. But those prosthetics are super, super cool. They are the athletic type. She wears a PE uniform and a very worried frown. The former strikes me as a rather strange thing to have during a lunch break. More striking than that, though, is that she doesn't have legs. Well, not Not the same as everyone else, but she does have them. Or she does, but they are not flesh and bone. Her pale and very much flesh and bone thighs end in shins and feet, made of some black metallic or plastic-like material. This is really neat. I'm glad that they are bringing our attention to these details and these sporty prosthetics. And I've actually seen in my Sky Crystal that things like this are used by Olympic tier athletes who need to use prosthetics. It makes them actually run a bit like a gazelle. It's really cool. They look disturbingly artificial and unnatural. It almost makes me forget that my chest is hurting. Oh no! So your chest is hurting a bit, probably from getting knocked into. But I think they look cool, dude. The girl winces a little, rubs her nose, and jumps up. Twin Tails girl. Aw, man. Hey, are you alright? I'm sorry about that, really. I wasn't looking where I was going and you just came out of nowhere. Sorry. She's looking really apologetic in a hurt puppy way of looking apologetic. Quickly, I forget about being angry or anything, since hurt puppies are my weak spot. Oh no. It's okay, don't worry about it. Ow. Uh-oh. I say that, but there's a stinging pain growing in my chest. Uh-oh, we may have a thing that I was worried about. And I know that this is because, okay, and I know that this is about the biggest possible danger for my condition. Uh-oh. Don't overexert yourself, don't forget your medication, and most of all, don't get hit in the chest. Okay. I try to rub my solar plexus to chase the pain away, holding my breath in an attempt to hear my heartbeat. It seems normal. Okay. It's okay, Hisao. Let's just relax. And I agree with Kali. She has legs. Or rather, her thighs are still there. So, part of her legs are still there. Her calves and her feet and that lower region have the prosthetics. But they even went out of their way to kind of correct that. Hey, should I get a nurse? The worried, high-pitched high-pitched voice of the girl snaps me out of it. I stared at her for a few seconds, dumbfounded, until I realized that I probably looked worse off than I really was, doubled over myself and looking all tense. Damn, I'm overly worried about my heart. No, Hisao, I would say you are appropriately worried about that. Because you do kind of have to manage your new situation now, so it makes sense that you would be a little more hyper alert about that, and that's a good thing. No need, I'm fine. Managing to say something in response, I pull myself upright, feeling my sore ribs one last time, and take a deep breath. She knocked the wind out of me big time, but it's nothing more than that. You sure you're okay? I hit you pretty hard. It's okay. I said I was fine and nothing's broken. No harm done. That's good. Hisao, what happened? She's not quite up to speed for obvious reasons, but she sounds very worried. more than what the situation deserves, really. Someone just bumped into me. Nothing serious, just winded. Sorry, it's my fault. I was going to get some stuff, and I was kind of in a hurry. Oh no! Oh, she's so cute! That someone here is Emmy, isn't it? The little girl coughs quietly and shuffles her plastic or metallic feet, looking down at them before saying anything. Well, she's not really a little girl, but okay. So her name is Emmy. Hi, Lily. Hanako? I guess the girls know each other. Do please try to be more careful. You might be sturdy enough to endure these sorts of accidents, but there are people who aren't. Good point. Lily Protect. The girl blushes and starts to fidget nervously like a little child caught misbehaving. Oh no, here we go. It's so cute, I find myself smiling. I know that. I was just... I gotta go! Teacher will have my head. I promised to help with the printouts, but I went running instead. Sorry, but I've got to change and everything. Zoom. Before any of us can say anything, Emmy has already bolted away, leaving the hallway eerily quiet. Does that kind of thing happen often around here? There are more rules in Yamaku than usual for running in corridors. But that rarely stops Emmy, it seems. She shakes her head weakly and offers a slight, composed smile. I don't think there's anything we can do to stop her, I'm afraid. Shall we be off then? Lily heads off along the hallway and Hanako hurries after her. The route to the room the two of us use for tea is fairly simple to retrace, being still fresh in my mind from yesterday. Lily and Hanako quickly go about the business of making lunch. Very cool. So we're gonna have a more made from scratch lunch, maybe. Even if it's just snacks or something, that sounds cool. Before I can even open my small bag of food, Lily is busying herself with her thermos and tea bags as Hanako is setting out both of their lunch boxes. So, is this what you meant by coming here almost every day? Yes, Hanako and I usually have lunch here. It suits both of us, so we ended up using this room regularly. After seeing Hanako's reaction to me over the past couple of days, I can understand why that is a boon. That and Lily being able to get some quiet away from her class as well. I take my seat last after Lily's poured the tea for us and sits down. Yay, so we get to have an impromptu tea party. Tea time! I love it. The more time I spend with these two girls, the more I think they're a perfect foil to Misha and Shizune. Meaning that they're a perfect opposite example of like another partnership, basically. Even without a voice, Shizune, even without a traditional voice, I would say, because she still has one, Shizune is direct and brash, and Misha seems to get along with everyone. On the other hand, Lily is soft-spoken and relaxed, while Hanako seems to be the shyest girl I've ever met. So how are you faring in Yamako, Hisao? You seemed a bit flustered before. Apart from getting lost every now and again and being crash tackled outside my classroom, fine, I guess. You looked pretty hurt before. Are you really okay? For a brief moment, I considered telling Hanako and Lily about my condition. Please do, dude. You can. They're not gonna be weird with you. You can tell them. But then I hold it back. Well, I guess I can understand that too. There are people that I know and people that I'm friends with who, because they have recently come by their diagnosis or have been recently considered as having a disability, I have some friends who are not really comfortable considering themselves as disabled or really talking about their conditions yet, so I guess I can understand this. It's just way different than my personal perspective, but I get it, certainly. I can't tell why, but for some reason I feel uncomfortable talking about it to these relative strangers, even if they have been pretty friendly. Well, because I don't think you've accepted your condition yet. I think that you still have a little bit of shame, maybe, or a little bit of nervousness, maybe. It's okay. You're gonna have time to open up to them. Yeah, it's nothing. I was just a bit startled. Judging from the two girls' expressions, I don't think they're buying it. No, they probably aren't, because like me, they probably have some pretty high wisdom. They have a pretty high insight, I'm guessing. But in what I assume is their way of respecting my privacy, they don't press the matter. Yes, just like you were polite enough to not press matters that didn't involve you. So they're showing you some really awesome respect here. I guess that is one of the unwritten rules around here. Don't ask. Even if people's conditions are obvious like Hanako's, there's still bound to be a story involved. Everyone has things they don't feel comfortable speaking about, and I think everyone here recognizes that. This is really good writing. I know I've seen some articles through my Scry Crystal that say that this game has a lot of ableism in it, or there's like some ableist stuff in it, and I understand that part of that has to do with using the term Katawa in Katawa Shoujo, because Katawa is, as I've seen, is kind of a slur for, disabled person. It's the Japanese equivalent of the C word for a disabled person. I haven't read much about those articles or that article that was talking about ableism in Katawa Shoujo, but so far, I would have to read the article to see if I agree with it or not. So far, I actually think they're doing a decent job. They're doing a decent job, in my opinion, as a person with a physical disability and as a tiefling who had to sit through If My Heart Had Wings with a bunch of overt ableism and really abusive stuff in it. This so far does a better job. If we want to talk about ableism and toxic internalized ableism and all that kind of stuff, we need to talk about If My Heart Had Wings, and I don't know if anyone's bothered to write or do anything about that, but I'm gonna have to read that article after I get finished with this visual novel and see if I agree with it or not. But as of right now, I can say I don't really agree, just based off my own personal feelings. I feel like this is worlds away an improvement from If My Heart Had Wings, in all seriousness. And Collie says, really, that was the thing? Well, I ended up finding out about that article when I was searching for other VNs to do with disability and romance and stuff, and the article popped up and I just kind of glanced at it. But I haven't, like I say, I haven't read it. But from my perspective and from having If My Heart Had Wings to compare with this, I think that the writers actually did try to do these topics some justice. And for the story to be self-aware and for his Sal to be self-aware and emotionally intelligent. So, I still really think this is a pretty well done VN so far. And Collie says, well, no kidding. This is much better so far than If My Heart Had Wings. Agreed. Especially after how much what I just recently had to go through with that visual novel just kind of broke me. I'm not having any of that. I mean, I have some little critiques, some small ones, but compared to the all-out rage and heartbreak that I was feeling, this visual novel is doing a lot better by me so far. So I'm happy to be here doing this. And Collie says, I think I said it before, even here, I want to see others introduced. Yes, and I think again that deserves to just be reiterated is that even all of these characters, they're all so fascinating and so well done. I'm actually looking forward to getting to know them and getting to meet new people in this visual novel where in If My Heart Had Wings, every time there's a new character, I'm just always like, oh, goddess, no. Like, just no, you know? Like, just get back to Kotori and things like that. But here, I don't feel that way at all. I'm like, ooh, who else are we gonna meet? What are they gonna be like? So, yeah, I think so far this visual novel is awesome. So, how long have you been at this school? You both seem to know your way around pretty well. And all of them are handled with grace, says Collie. Versus in my heart, If My Heart Had Wings. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that the disability is treated with appropriate delicacy. And by delicacy, I mean not that they're just like dancing around the issue, so to speak, but that when they choose to speak about it, they're not using language and they're not using phrasing and they're not using framing that is like sabotaging what they're really supposed to be doing here, which is trying to create a character and showcase a character with a disability or multiple characters with disabilities in a good and empowering light. And so far, I think this is doing a good job. Well, I've been here since the start of high school, but only moved into the dormitories a year ago. Hanako joined at the start of high school as well and moved into the dormitories when she did, if memory serves me right. That's right, since high school. Ooh. I just got shivers down my spine. I'm beginning to wonder if something about her disability or her scarring also happened right before high school started. I don't know what that shiver down my spine is about, but, So you've known each other since then? Since I moved, yes. Hanako lives next door to me, so it's only natural, right? Right. Yeah, of course. Living next to someone is probably reason enough to befriend them, though I'm guessing that Lily's blindness played a part in that as well. I can't imagine Hanako easily making friends with someone who has to deliberately avoid looking at her scars. Ooh. Well, I don't know about that, Hisao. I don't know. I think I can see what you mean, but I don't know. That might be, while that might be true in terms of like literally she can't see her scars, like that's a little, I will say that's a little bit problematic because you're befriending her and you can see her scars. And I don't think that you're having to constantly deliberately look away from her. And I don't think that the scars are really stopping you, per se. They might stop other people. But I have a feeling that even if Lily didn't have an impairment to her sight, I don't think that she would be so freaked out by Hanako that they wouldn't be friends. With the immediate conversation dried up, we start to eat our lunch. And I'll say it again, I really like the pacing in this visual novel a lot. We're covering a lot of ground, we're getting to know a lot about these people, but we're also not moving too fast and we're not moving too slow either. And that's just really refreshing. And we still have choices that we've already gotten to make, which I know I've also mentioned this before, but where I was in If My Heart Had Wings, I have not even been able to make a choice yet. Not even after the 20 some hours or whatever it's been at this point that I've logged in that story, I've not had one choice point yet. Anyway, to avoid getting into a rant about that, let's move on. It isn't long before the bells are signaling the end of break. Like me, the girls pack up their lunches as efficiently as they set them out. I guess I'd better be off. Are you going, to go with Hisao, Hanako? Hanako looks up at me, and for a second I can see that she is considering skipping class. Maybe just to avoid walking to the classroom with me. How can you see that though? Like, you would have to read her mind. I don't know, Hisao. I'm not sure how you would know that just by looking at her. But okay. Yes. So, she does want to go with you, but she's like still a little bit freaked out. Okay. So I don't know what to think of it. Hanako really is delicate to the point of breaking if looked at in the wrong way. It makes me a bit nervous too, but I push the feeling aside, trying to be as natural as I can. We should hurry then. Class has already started by the sound of it. Lily gives a nod of farewell as she bends down to take her cane. Hanako and I filing, there we go, that's the word I wanted, brain, filing out before her. We walk quickly down the empty halls to our respective classes. As we reach the door to Lily's 3-2 classroom, she turns toward me. Hisao, thank you for sharing lunch with us today. My pleasure, Lily. And with that, we part ways, Lily entering her classroom and leaving Hanako and me to make off to our own. She's still looking like she wants to run away. Yeah, she may look like that, Hisao, but at least she's staying with you, which should say something. If you weren't even remotely comforting to her, she would run away. So, the fact that she's actually staying by you and walking with you is really out of her comfort zone. And it really shows that she's wanting to be a bit of a different way with you, which should be a good sign. So, do you really want to go back to class now? Yes. Okay then. And that's how you do it. Okay, he might have things that he is coming to conclusions about, and he might have some things that I might disagree with a little bit. But at least as they're going back to class, even if he did think, for the sake of argument, even if he did think, oh wait, she's just trying to skip class or something, or that she wants to skip class, he's not being like Aoi, who's like, I'm not gonna let you skip class, and like dragging her back to the classroom. I mean, can you imagine if Hisao just grabbed Hanako by the arm and was like, listen, I know you're afraid of going back to the classroom, but I'm gonna drag you back there anyway. No, you can't imagine him doing that at all, and if he did, he would totally not make Hanako like him. But that's exactly the kind of stuff that Aoi does to Kotori all the time, and doesn't even know her all that well because he's not even been at the school that long. But he still hauls off and does all sorts of stuff. So at least he is asking, are you sure you want to go back to class? And actually letting her, like, express herself. I feel like I should say something more to her, but it's hard to come up with anything that would be appropriate and safe enough. Good call, my dude. It's better to be safe and appropriate and, emotionally aware before you say something than just popping off and saying something for the sake of saying something. And Lily was right. The more time we spend out here, the more explaining we have to do. I open the rear door to the class and walk in. The teacher looks up at me and opens his mouth to say something. However, as Hanako follows me in and closes the door, he simply nods to us and continues his lecture. Okay, interesting. So he was probably about to lecture Hisao about being late, but because Hanako was with him, the teacher decided not to, which kind of confirms for me that he must know some of what Hanako struggles with, and must have rightly assumed that the reason he was, that Hisao was late is that we were helping Hanako. So that's kind of neat. And also a really cool way of showing us something about these characters without telling us too much. This is the third time that Hanako has had her truancy practically ignored. There's definitely something going on here. Well, because it's not being treated like normal tardiness. Or normal lateness, perhaps I should say. It's not being treated like normal lateness. Probably because the teachers and staff know that Hanako's condition or her disabilities, whatever they are, necessitate that sometimes she takes longer to get to and from places. IRL, that is something that I had, not for the reasons that Hanako had them, but because I had to use an assist device to get around, and sometimes I wasn't able to move as quickly from place to place. That's something I also had with my professors and my teachers and things. They kind of just knew to expect that sometimes I would be a little bit later than other students. So I can kind of relate to this. And also because they knew that once I was in class, they knew I was going to be paying attention, so they really didn't go too hard on me about that. We make our way to our seats, and I notice that Misha and Shizune are both missing as well. Oh no. I think quite obviously that we might have pissed them both off by going over to Hanako and then spending lunchtime with Hanako and Lily. So they might not be feeling too hot about us right now. But what can I say? I couldn't help it. I wanted to see I wanted to go talk to Hanako, and I don't really regret it. So I wonder if it is some form of informal agreement with the staff, or if it is a perk afforded to the unique students of this school. Well, I wouldn't call it a perk. It's more like an accommodation, which is why I guess perk is in quotes. But I don't want to say that accommodations are perks. Because they're not. They're actually things that people with disabilities need. And there are a lot of fellow students that I had to be around growing up that were like, oh, Tiefy gets all the special treatment. She gets more time on tests. She gets a scribe. She gets all these things. She gets all the perks. And it's like, no, I'm getting what I need to be successful. It's called an accommodation for a reason. If it was a perk, it would be frivolous. So I'm leaning more toward an informal agreement with the staff and an accommodation. Trying to make as little disturbance as I can, I extract the relevant textbooks from my bag and start catching up. Good idea. The class goes on quietly. The teacher seems like an okay person despite the weird first impression I got, and the material is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. Oh, sounds like my father-in-law. Lovely. And Collie says, I haven't heard the word perk since SWAT cats. Yeah, I haven't heard or seen the word perk used in quite a while. When the final bell sounds, I realize that there is still a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. It's odd, at the hospital I had 24 hours a day of free time, but here filling the considerably shorter hours feels difficult. Everyone else leaves and I'm left alone with the teacher. Maybe now the teacher might give you some idea of some other things to do with Hanako, because he did see you coming in with her. Muto is examining the assignment sheets we were working on earlier, marking them with a red ball pen. Raising his eyes from his paper briefly, he notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jump at him addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation since there's nobody else around. Nothing. Thinking about what I'd do after school. The teacher slowly puts the cap on the pen he's holding and arranges his papers into a stack. clacking it against the desk twice. Oh, I can just hear and see that. These written details are marvelous. He seems very methodical, and for a brief moment I'm reminded of Shizune. But the teacher is more unhurried and relaxed. Much more routined. You have no plans? No. I considered joining a club, but I don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting of someone else's club. Might pique your interest. I guess. But I don't know how to continue from there. Muto looks at me in a way that makes me quickly want to take the words back to avoid a conversation. But I can't, so I have to forge ahead. I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to people and everything, so it's not that I'd be isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about the disabilities. It feels that I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, and it's weird to ignore them. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. I think that's a brilliant thing that they brought up. And I think this perfectly illustrates how a lot of the normal able-bodied people must feel around us. And I wish they didn't feel that way. I mean, that's why I try to encourage people who visit my casts to talk with me about my disability, ask me about it. I'm fine with being open with what I have. I don't want people to rudely ask me, what's wrong with you? Kind of deal. But even so, this is still way better than Aoi. I agree, Collie, because he is acknowledging his own weaknesses and his own lack of understanding about certain things and not knowing what to do. Instead of being so defensive and so, toxic masculine that he's just gonna be like, oh, well, I don't know how to handle a situation, but I'm gonna go bungle my way through it anyway because I'm a guy and that's what we do. The teacher scratches his cheek, absent-mindedly looking very unresponsive. Huh, Muto, these things are only an issue if you make them one. You can talk normally with someone even if they are blind or something. Exactly. And I'm gonna bring up an interesting example from my own life. IRL, people used to talk to me very slowly or very loudly because I was in an assistive device. And I would always be like, you don't need to talk to me that way. You can talk to me normally. And you don't have to be afraid to talk to me either. So I really like that the teacher is bringing up, hello, regardless of their disabilities, they are still people. Just try treating them like people and you'll be fine. And Collie says, versus being on a moral high ground, acting superior to the girl in a chair. Yes. And being so immature that you can't and don't even want to talk about these things with any level of respect or tenderness. Because the thing is, if Aoi treated Kotori the way any other person would want to be treated, with respect, then he wouldn't be doing the kinds of things that he is depicted as doing to Kotori. So what it means is he has a fundamental respect problem toward Kotori, and that to me is a big red flag. And that's why I'm not going to be doing, as I've said, any more of that visual novel on Twitch. I'm just not going to, because the level of inappropriateness about that is just not something that I can support by just continuing to stream it and cast it like there's no problem. Try to look behind the superficial. There's not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever they seem at first glance. Good point! I would love you as the teacher to go get Owie from his school and sit him down here and be like, quit being an ass. Quit being a child, quit being an ass, and learn how to have some respect. I think if Owie actually had to come to this school, he would get his butt handed to him. And he might actually learn how to respect other people, but more importantly, he might actually learn how to respect himself and his disability. He says the same thing as Yuko did. I know they're right, but it's hard. How can you not consider, for example, Shizune's deafness, when the only way to communicate with her is to talk through Misha? Well, what the teacher is saying is not that you need to not pay attention to their differences. You should be aware of their differences and take that into consideration, but don't let those differences scare you off from relating with them like normal, even if you have to take other things into consideration. That's all that they're trying to teach you, Hisao, and I think that's what you're gonna learn. Or Hanako, it's not like you can ignore her face. No, you can't, Hisao, but you can still talk to her and treat her like a normal young woman, like you've already done. You're already doing that. If you weren't, she wouldn't be walking back to class with you. But I'm interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open. Okay. Is it gonna be Shizune and Misha or someone else? Teacher! I know it! Misha! Sensei! Misha crashes in, hands straight in an enthusiastic greeting, her voice loud and lively enough to wake the dead from their graves. She starts toward the teacher's desk with her bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with the rhythm. Muto, visibly dismayed at the interruption, and Misha in general, slumps in his chair. Mikado. Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly, as if she's sensing from his tone that something is wrong, but has no idea what. Yes? We have talked about volume control before. Oof. It's like dealing with my father-in-law, I swear to goddess. Yes? But she doesn't lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. So what is it? We need help. We are running out of supplies for the festival stands. This is a distress. She waves a pink slip of paper she's holding around. So, go get more supplies from the art room. What is the problem with that? Plywood. Plywood is always the problem. Last time we wanted more, there was only a little. But that time we just took it all and went with that. Now there's like none left there. So, do you know where there is some? I don't understand. How would I know? Shichan, the president thought a teacher would know if there is plywood. Was she wrong? Muto looks like he's in great pain, frowning within his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible, like looking at a man being tortured by drilling his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume. While blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. Wow. That was some image. I'm gonna have to use that descriptive next time something is painful to watch. Collie says, oh, by the way, here. What are you about to do, Collie? What? What are you doing? Ow, you made another clip! You're so sweet, thank you. Thank you for clipping that for me, my sweet little bard. Okay, I will have to give that a look a bit later, but thank you so much for doing that for me. I'm afraid I have no idea if there's any plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there was any. What should I do? Perhaps try to find Mr. Nomiya? I'm quite sure he would know where to find everything you need. You'd have to pry them from his cold dead hands, but that's a different matter. Oh boy. I don't have the time. We're so busy. She holds her head with both hands, looking as despairing as it's possible for a person like her. Without even noticing, she crumples the note she's holding against her hair. I shouldn't even be fetching these things. There's so much to do, and we are falling behind the schedule. Oh boy, she sounds like me when I have too much to do. Collie says, it's the part where you say people with disabilities are people, so treat them the same. Very cool. Muto looks at her gravely and then suddenly smiles. Smiling doesn't really fit his face. I think it'd be better if he didn't. Oof. Man, if I had a sound redeemed for oof, I'd be playing that right now. I wonder if you can get some temporary help. He switches to staring at me focusedly with a hard expression as if trying to say, go make some friends. Hint taken. I guess I can give you a hand. You can? Thanks, Hee-chan. You really are nice. And I read that wrong, but who cares? She pauses, does a double take, and then points at me with her finger, yelping, ah! Looking very puzzled. Come to think of it, what's Hee-chan doing here? Class is over. You should be having fun. We just had a little chat. Oh no, it's not detention, is it? Are you in trouble, Hee-chan? No, I'm not. Is Hee-chan in trouble, teacher? No, he's not. Muto sighs deeply, and I feel that I have to help Misha to get her off the teacher's back. So what do you need? Here's a list. I can try to find the plywood from somewhere if there's none in the art room. She offers me the note she's holding. I take it, hesitating a bit. I said I'd help you. But this has no implications on whether I'm joining the council or not. Aww. Still, thanks, Hichan. Try to be quick. We're in a stall building streak now. We must hurry. She bounces out of the classroom, leaving me and the teacher looking at each other with something that feels like a silent agreement. Well, there you have it, Nakai. You have something to do now. Please don't sound so smug. Looking at the list with a number of items ranging from paint to plywood, all written with small, neat handwriting that is undoubtedly Shizune's, I heave a sigh. I'll be going then. Waving the long list limply at the teacher, I exit to the hallway. The classrooms closest to ours are designated belonging to classes 3-1, 3-2 on the right side, and 3-4 on the left side, each door looking exactly the same. Further down the corridor, still with identical doors, are rooms that I didn't think were used for classes. I guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push open the furthest door and peek in. It's a classroom, but it seems rather badly kept or not in use. Am I in the right place? Desks and chairs are all around the room. A thin layer of dust settled on them. There are some easels in the corner. So, at least this looks like the right place. The room is flushed in sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Jokingly, I call into the empty room, "Anybody home?" Something catches my eye and I stop mid-sentence. Hello there? Sitting on a desk, a short-haired girl, cautiously wearing a boy's uniform. Wearing a boy's uniform for the win. With a fork in between her toes, a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. Yes! Not cautiously, curiously. Okay, fine. Misread it. Thank you, Collie. Yes, wearing a boy's uniform. Super cool. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands. But her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in a corner very still, but I still somehow took her as a part of the furnishing or a statue at first glance. Oh no, okay. Well, maybe I won't be too hard on him for that, but kinda oof. But yeah, go Tomboy! Woo! We are here for that! I'm not being too observant today as a whole. Well, it's okay, Hisao, that makes two of us. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence and trying to think if I should. And yes, Maki, thank you for stopping back in. That's really sweet of you. This weird stalemate keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated by only the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello? The girl stuffs the fork full in her mouth and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello, I was told to pick up some supplies from here. For some festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there would be someone here. There isn't. That's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here then? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. You're pretty observant. I guess it does, but who are you? This girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I like that he can say that the girl or the young woman or the young tomboy is straightforward without saying, oh, they're not feminine or something. I love how Hisao doesn't go making these comments about women and like being very just inappropriate. I'm Nakai, Hisao Nakai. I just transferred on Monday. I'm Rin. Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who you are now. We. Okay. They're giving you an interesting clue there. Yes. I see. Collie wrote, oh, yes. I think they're kind of giving us a little bit of a clue here, but we'll see. That's very nice. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. It kind of bothers me. Joking about these matters doesn't feel appropriate at all. I like that he actually kind of feels that way. But I mean, if the person with a disability wants to joke about their disability and on their own terms, like, I would see that as, different. Well, I'm trying to figure out what's appropriate and whether this girl, she seems to have lost interest in me and is now gazing yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch? If you don't mind me, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are in the back. Go right ahead, but lunch. School's already over for the day. What word would you use then? There is no word for a meal you eat after lunch but before dinner, right? It bothers me very much too, but I don't really know what I should say. I don't think you are supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now and my delicious boxed lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry. It's very delicious. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes, and with at least as much impoliteness, she points it straight at me. So, Nakai, what brings you to this place? A tsundere tomboy, nice. Kare, yeah. Oh, also. Yes, she's eating with her foot. Yes. Yes, didn't you notice that? I noticed that right away. She's eating with her foot. She's very cool. Very, skilled. But she is working with what she's got to work with, so props to them. No, the school. From outside, you look fine. Is your problem inside? Ooh, very, very, very direct. I come to a full stop, opening my mouth but not getting a word out. I can guess. I'm good at guessing. Better than most people. Rin cuts me off before I can answer her question or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of this issue again. I haven't told anyone here about my condition, or maybe it's because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that not making issues of this is part of the social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better than any normal person could. What do you mean, dude? They are probably the best people to be able to relate with you. I can't relate to Shizune's circumstances or Lily's either. And this is exactly why I created my group for VTubers with disabilities. Because it's... Yes, you can't exactly know what their exact experience with disabilities are. You can't exactly know what that's like for them. Because we don't all share the same disability, but there are shared experiences that we have as individuals with disabilities, and so that's why I made my group for VTubers with disabilities be as welcoming and as open in its definition of a disability as it is because I want people to be able to support one another and relate with one another and know that it's okay to talk about their disabilities even if they're just coming to understand them. I wanted to create the community I did for this exact reason, so that everyone doesn't continue to feel so isolated over their particular disabilities or, feeling like, oh, I can't express what I'm feeling because our disabilities aren't the same, or I don't even know how they're feeling, so how could I have a community with them or have like a friendship with them? That's part of what my group is trying to be there for, is to create this idea of community that stretches beyond specific disabilities or specific definitions of what a disability is. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rin keeps considering what my condition could be with an overtly contemplative look on her face. She puts her fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other. I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your guts would be boringly ordinary like this lunch of mine and less delicious. The problem must be in your pants. Whoa? Whoa. Whoa. Boy, chill out. Whoa. That escalated. Oh my God. Okay. Alright. Whoa, alright. This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement, and the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catches me completely off guard. And I kind of wish that Owie were here because He deserves to have something like that said to him, so that he gets a taste of all the stuff he's flinging around at these women. Oh, I would pay all my gold pieces to have Aoi transferred from that visual novel to this one, just so he could go through that experience instead of Hisao. I think I might have reeled back, even physically, as Rin's eyes widen in revelation and astonishment. So I was right, there's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? No! No! That is not the way to go about that, no! That is the same reaction that I have when people are like, so Tiefy, is your disability hereditary? And I'm like, no. But then but because I'm so surprised, they're like, well, of course it must be for you to have that reaction. And I'm like, no. No. Still partially in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing I could think of. No, nothing like that. I have a heart problem. Arrhythmia. I said it. More like blurted it out, but I said it. The girl in front of me pushes her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. What? What? Disappointed? Okay. How boring. What? Okay. Trouble in the pants would have been much more scandalous. Yes. Okay, I don't know how to respond to this. Just... Okay. Moving on. What is with this reaction? I agree, Hisao. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to let you down. Boy, don't be sorry. Okay, this is awkward. Interesting tomboy, this one, says Kali. I agree. This is, interesting. I forgive you. Just, I collect people, and a person with, that kind of problem would have been really great. Oh my goddess! What? Okay, so they're a person with disabilities who collects people with other disabilities so they can have a collection of diverse disabilities, and so they can say, wow, it's great, I know somebody with like damage to their erogenous erectile zones. Okay, whatever. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Collect people? People with different problems. Okay. So if I went to that school, I'm sure that this tomboy would probably be like, I like Tiefy because she's the only one on a disc, and she's also the only one who's a tiefling. I'm making her part of my collection now. I'm pretty sure that would happen. Although, I'm not sure if I would, really be turned on by that. Yeah, I'd probably be very nervous. I'd be like, you wanna collect me? Yeah. No thanks. And Monkey says, living Netflix show. Oh, man, I don't know what to make of this. So you just, like, go around asking people what's wrong with them? Oh, pretty much. Wow. I see. With little left to say, Rin resumes her lunch, and the conversation dies away, but I keep thinking about what was said. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or have heard about it from someone else, or didn't need to know about it like every other student here so far. Kinda like the one in prison, says Collie, saying, "So what are you in for?" Kinda like that, but way more awkward. But yeah, I guess that same curious person in jail that's like, "Yo, what did they lock you up for, bruh? I wanna know." Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions? Is that expected of me? Hi, I'm Hisao. I have a very serious heart condition. Is that how I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? No, you don't have to. But if you want to tell people, you can, but no, that shouldn't be like the only part of your introduction. Even I myself, yes, I introduced myself as a VTuber with cerebral palsy only because I think that's relevant for wanting people to know that that's what I'm representing, in part by being on my disc and representing the way that I am. But in normal interaction, no, I don't think you should feel like your disability is the only way that you literally define yourself. As if our disabilities would define us. What a disgusting thought! Or maybe this Tezuka girl just has an unnatural interest in such things. I don't hate Rin, but that was quite forward, says Collie. Glad to know what to expect. I feel the same way. I don't dislike them. I'm just, a bit shocked. As I walk to the back of the room to pick up the items on Misha's list, a chance opens to study Rin from the corner of my eye. Her hair is a burnt auburn, almost orange, and cropped short. Long hair would probably be impossible with no arms. Oof. Hisao. She could have other ways of handling her hair. She could, I don't know, use her feet to help use a comb or something. But that aside, maybe she just likes the hairstyle. Maybe it's not something that she only does because of her disability. The boy's uniform and the lack of arms makes her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty except for her murky green eyes, which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs, even when she eats. The distance and the shadows make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb all of it from within like deep wells. Ooh. Huh. Interesting descriptions. That and some tomboys can be preoccupied with the topic of masculinity. That's true too. My cousin who works in the forge, can be a little bit that way sometimes, but they are not nearly as forward. So armed with that shield, they can shoot words aimed straight at the junk. Oof. Yes, that is a good point, Collie. Yeah, I can see that, for sure. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person would move their arms, of course. Because she's had to do that her entire life. Not all, though. This isn't intended to be a blanket statement. True. However, I can see how this sight would discomfort some people, especially while eating. It makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, at least. I think it would be cool. Maybe I'm just a weird little Tiefy, but if I were sitting across somebody from somebody who was eating their lunch with their feet, I would think that was pretty amazing. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching the cabins and shelves for Misha's things, but after enough time passes, the silence grows too uncomfortable, so I try to force some conversation out of this strange girl. There is a streamer who plays RPGs like Genshin with their feet on Twitch. Yes, I have actually seen them. I think that I might be even following them on Twitch. And if they were on more when I was on, I would definitely be rating them. Because I think that is so cool. And that is so needed for disability representation. As far as being a gamer and being a content creator and being like, look, I'm not like everyone else, but I'm not going to let that be a bad thing. Sit back and watch, normies. So, do you always eat alone and this late, or do you get the occasional visitors? Maybe you are my first occasional visitor, but I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof if she's not horsing around. Horsing. She likes to do sports. Is that a reference to Emmy, maybe? Oh. And that's all I can think of to say. Both of us fall silent again as Ren forks the last bit of her meal into her mouth. I look down at my haul to double check it with Misha's list. It seems I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. That's very nice for you. Don't feel obligated to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you're going to do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you'd like to watch... or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping. Yeah. Oh my. Well... no? I don't know what to say. Okay, I think we should go now. Bye. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Rin looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. Okay, let's go. I'll catch you around, Tezuka. You can call me Rin. I feel that our relationship at this point is at this point good enough to warrant this much. I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine, then I'm Hisao. Then you are. Rin looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. Okay, so I also just want to make a note. Okay, so the last time I was reading If My Heart Had Wings, right? And there's this scene after Aoi does the unspeakable. We are not even going to talk about it. But he goes on this conversation with Kotori about, oh, I hated how you don't call me by my name, and you should call me by my name, and, and she's over there trying to say, but we don't know each other well enough for me to call you by such an intimate thing. And he's like, oh, come on, call me by my name and stuff. And here, we actually have it done better, where, like, they decide mutually that they can be on a first name basis. Instead of just making it like, oh, I want you to do this and that for me. Especially, like, not after Aoi just, like, did some things that should never be done. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up for comparison. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. Oh, like she's kind of looking through you then. She blinks a couple of times and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Hisao. There's something like a tiny smile there in her face, maybe. And Maki says secretly, oh, NAS. And that's alright with me. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whisper to myself, I guess so. I'm not good at reading some of that stuff sometimes. Maybe a little nasty, I don't know. Either way. What an intriguing person. What an interesting character. That's all I can think of. From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice. I heard that. What did she hear? Hello? Hello? Hi. Nice to see you again, Misha. I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Wheeze. Hi, Misha. Somehow she had gotten to jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, Kenji, we've just nicknamed like the Harry Potter of this visual novel because he has a scarf and glasses like a certain wizard. But I pushed that thought aside. Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof as if she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misa's attention. But Misha is visibly excited. No, wait, more importantly, who's in there? There are no club meetings today. She tries to curiously peek past me even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here? You took so long that we had to come check. What's wrong? That's no good, Hee-chan. She wags her finger at me scoldingly. I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you are tardy. Well, sorry! We had a lot of stuff to get. Oh, sorry. I thought I got the things here. Was just going to bring them. I think you were up to some mischief, Hee-chan. Who was in there with you, I wonder? That is like my draconic cousin. Get your mind out of the gutter. Come on. Misha signs something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she's experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. And indeed, she stares at Ren frozen in place. Apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders from suppressed rage, I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously at Misha. Oh, she's so grumpy. Look at that face. As school presidents, though, or as class presidents at least, I like her way better than the one in If My Heart Had Wings. She at least has more of a reason to be angry. She shoots a very loaded stare at me too, as if it was somehow my fault that Rin is sleeping on top of one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness. Fingers, don't do that. Hello. Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. Well, maybe not. I mean, she did get in there by herself, and she's pretty good with her feet, so don't dismiss her so lightly. I open the door to find Rin directly behind us, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello. Miss Tezuka, what do you think you are doing? You are absolutely not permitted to use school property for such a disgraceful activity. It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune/Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misa's shoulder, points at Rin, and makes some quick signs. Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how is your project going? Will it be done for the festival? Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease, under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself, too. Interesting being on the school council side in this VN, yes, because in the other one we are on a completely different side of things, with the school council being like, hey, you can't have that club that's been here for years, but never mind that we've allowed it until now, but never mind, we're gonna have an issue. Rawr. And we'll think about it harder. Misha signs her reply to Shizune. As Misha signs her reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown. Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously. It will be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch on it. Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't. Not even after translation, of course. Because she's serious. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha in tow. Woof. They are not, they are not necessarily, in for all this joking around, it seems like. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. Yep, your cuz is definitely Misha, Rin. Yep. How rude. It's true though, I must finish my project before the weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Nice one. Nice one. I like that. Much more dire. Dire wolves? Oh, no. Just kidding. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to the unforeseen future. I bet she would tell you what dire wolves are, right? Yes. Since that cousin of mine did spend a lot of time out in the woods and being around lots of different animals, she would definitely know what dire wolves are. They're wolves, only dire, right? Ba-dum-butch. Okay, I'm done. I'm about to ask what project she has and what are these apocalyptic consequences, but she walks back into the art classroom. Since you have nothing to do, would you give me a hand? Oh, please don't make an observation about her use of that language. Please don't. This paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks lightly at the huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am. Very good, Hisao. You get to call yourself a gentleman. I don't know why people in If My Heart Had Wings call Aoi such a great guy, but Hisao has every right to call themselves a gentleman as far as I'm concerned. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need to take it? Away. Yes. And with that, she takes off to the hallway. Me and the paint can following, since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now with Shizune and Misha gone, so we have to leave toward the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 steps I have to change the can from one hand to another because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching, or maybe I'm walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Oh no! The nurse! Encounter approaching. Ah, Mr. Nakai. What a coincidence. Tezuka too, of course. He nods courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me because obviously it's me who he has some business with. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. And Kali says, oof, I felt that. What about your arms? Or just trying to walk and not be able to match pace or something else? I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to to guess what he forgot. There we go. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. Holding heavy things and having them cut into my palm. Okay, that's what I thought. And here we are back with this saxophone music. It's about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So we will do a few tests regularly, but what I'd want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything. And come see me if something happens. Alright. So how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here, my parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seemed to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool, so I'd like to know if you've taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off on the track since the first day. Or the other thing is too, maybe walking around the school is enough exercise for you. Especially with your heart condition, maybe that's exercise enough. Since it is being shown to have tired you out a little bit. You have people spying on me? Not as such. I just happen to know a few people, but that's not the issue here. So don't try to slip out of it. Of course it's not. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times, like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down my arms painfully. That is a good dodge, Collie. Clever. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, and then comes back like it was never gone. Tezuka, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. Oh. Okay. Okay, let's not get angry and weird, okay? Exercise is important, but we can calm down. I understand that you are still in your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down hard on this is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. The same with everything, like dieting. Whoa, okay? Hello, well, in a way, I think Aoi should have to listen to a doctor like this, not Hisao. 'Cause Aoi's condition is not nearly as, debilitating, I'm gonna say. I think, really, Hisao should take it a little bit easy because of his heart. They did say that the reason they were making him come to the school in the first place was because of the slower pace. And was because of his need to take things more easily and not be put in a situation where he might be getting overexerted. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? It's save time, yes. Collie, we are going to save, create a new one. Okay. And Collie's right. I think this is a good checkpoint. I have been casting for about 2.5 hours. So, I think this would be a good place to call it for now. So, with that, then I'm actually going to quit out of this story. Yes. Okay. So now that we are out of that, I am going to quickly look at Twitch through my scry crystal here and see who I want to go pay some love and attention to with my cast coming to a close for the evening. All right. I think we are going to visit my friend VT Mira. Yay! Thank you for the cheer, Collie. Thank you so much for that. It really means a lot. Yay! Okay. So I would like to raid VT Mira and go go pay her some love and attention. No, this is not the end of the visual novel, but I am gonna be done with my time on Twitch for tonight anyway, because I've been going for a pretty good stretch. And I think that it would be good for me to call it here, but I will be picking this visual novel up again. This is not the only time I'm going to be reading through it. If you wanted to know if this is the end of my stream, yes, it is for the evening. And actually, I just noticed that Hato Mono is on right now, and Hato is my 2D life papa, so I'm actually going to change my mind. And I want to go raid him, because I don't get to be on a lot when he's on, and because he was the one who made me my awesome, glasses and everything, which I realized that they were off. I cannot believe that they were off, and I had not meant to take them off. They must have just come off when I must have hit the reset on myself at some point. But I wanted to go put them on because, yes, my 2D life papa, Hatamono, did make them for me. And it was on very short notice. And they are on right now playing some Final Fantasy. So I want to go send them some love. I can always visit Mira another time. So I think I'm gonna do my 2D life papa because they deserve the love and they deserve to have some more viewers right now. Mira has got a lot currently, so we are gonna go do that for them. So as always, Cully, if you wouldn't mind doing the raid like you always do, I would love you to death for that. And Cully says Mira is enjoying their 24-hour stream and so on and so forth. Okay, let's go pay my 2D Life Papa some love. Rar.